Hey, welcome, Andrew, Elijah. Everything coming through good. We had some trouble at the start last week. I had to sign out and start another one. The camera wasn't working. So, hey, Ariel, Andrew, Brad. How's everyone's week going? We've been dumped on with snow all week again. My fingers too gritty from working the slide. They're biting. My fingers are so sore, almost too sore to play the guitar. I've been grinding knives for quite a few hours a day, and just a lot of stuff going on here in the shop, making some great production today. And it's been a lot of fun. A lot of rain on the West Coast, Corner Brook area. We got a lot of rain here as well, but started out with a good batch of snow overnight. Woke up to probably 6 inches of snow. Hey, Andrew Eliason, Mr. Jingle Bells, welcome. Nice, Andrew, nice. Chris, nice to have you here. Big dump in Thunder Bay. I got an aunt in Thunder Bay area. They're in Dryden, I think it is it? Is it Yeah, I think she's in Dryden, a little space outside Thunder Bay. But we got probably 6 inches last night, and then temperature warmed right up. It got real nice and mild. And by the time I got out plowing this morning, probably around 8:30, it was real like wet snow, but it wasn't raining out really. No, it was probably raining by then. No, absolutely not, Ariel. I don't know if it'll let you post a link. I don't know how that works. But Mr. Strapped and Dangerous there sent me this week. Oh, the little heart just popped up on the screen. Someone hit the like button. You could all go ahead and do that if you want. There's 20-something people here and 3 likes. So you guys aren't doing your job. Go ahead and hit that like button. And Strapped and Dangerous, if you want to throw that short there, absolutely go for it if it'll let you. I'll even throw my link there as well for what good it'll do. KNKnives.ca is my website. If you don't know it, or this is your first time seeing me, I say, give you something like, you stick around, sir. You stick around. I'm talking about the weather. What more could you want? I give you the website link, but there's not a whole lot there. We got cleaned out this week. Production was down a little bit less than it's been this week. My father came down with COVID. I didn't even know that was still a thing, hardly. Hey, Blue Dog. CWM, we got a bit of North Idaho. Okay. He's doing pretty good. He's well on the other side of it now, but he had a rough couple of days there. I think he was battling through it. But the whole week he hasn't been down here at the shop, and I've been behind on like a bunch of office work and stuff like that. So I I took the opportunity. I spent several days in the office this week catching up on emails and book work and all of the nitty-gritty stuff that comes with running your own business. All of the not as fun stuff. Actually, all the emails and stuff, I love that. I could have that if I had a team here crafting full time in the shop. I could do emails all day long. I just love it. Love talking with you guys as we email back and forth on custom projects and setting up custom builds. And I'm fortunate enough, you guys include me in your heirloom projects and your restoration projects, really important family builds and stuff like that. You include me, and then you're sending me pictures all week long of your family treasures and stuff like that. And I really like it. It's a lot of fun. Michael JM, you made it to another one, buddy. I enjoy just sitting with the guitar. Actually, I've gotten to the point now, almost anytime I sit down, I've got a guitar by the couch. I make it a habit. If I'm sitting, I'm playing the guitar. It's better than scrolling my phone. Jingle Bells knife maker turned secretary. Well, it all comes with it. You own your own business. That's a huge part of course, client relations and sales, and you learn so many skills. I was updating. Michael there got me inspired to go in and check out my LinkedIn account, which I hadn't updated now for quite a few years. So I went in and had a look at it, and just looking at the skills that I put down several years ago as my, some of my main skills. And I was thinking back over all I've got to learn, all I've had the privilege to learn in the past, 3, 4, 5 years. Just so much has passed over my desk and passed through my hands here in the shop. And I've learned, of course, a lot in the terms of knife making and crafting. I've really been challenged with a lot of builds, custom builds, restorations, pattern development, things like that, how to streamline a process here in the shop, make things more efficient, how to work with employees and make that happen. That's been a whole new experience. And then, of course, as the business grows and scales, the change in paperwork and government and taxes and bookkeeping and all the systems you end up having to incorporate to make that happen in a way that you can keep up with it. It's pretty heavy, but you end up learning so much. But probably, I know a bunch of you guys here I'm talking to. I know a couple for sure have your own businesses or had your own businesses and retired out of them and sold them, and you're sitting on bunches of money, and life is good. Life is good here too. Lots of fun. I wouldn't want like a slow, leisurely life. But how's everyone's week? You're all quiet tonight. I'd like some questions. I've got some goodies. I just finished a batch of steel here. Just came out of the oven. And there's something new with these knives that I think you're going to like. The Swamp Attack game. I don't know what that is. So if I'm playing the theme from that, it's only by coincidence. Let me show you. Not knife pattern. You can ignore the knife pattern for right now. Let me get the light for you right there. Do you see that? That's been a long time coming, guys. A step that I've wanted to do for years. There we go. A brand new maker's mark. And this has been a long time coming. This is the very first batch of knives with a new maker's mark, because there was some design work, file work in getting it put together. And then I was not capable of making this. It takes some specialized machinery to make that happen. So I'd work with a company who does this, and they built me the stamp. And then I brought my press in here, and I've been building a bracket and a mount and everything, and getting that all dialed in and set up. And then some testing on different steel, trying to get everything just right. But I've wanted to do this for years. It's just been kind of too chicken and too much work. I like it the way I've been doing it. No need to change things. But I finally said, you know what? I want 2025 to be the year that I make the change to like a little more refined maker's mark from the KN stamp that we've been doing from the beginning. And there it is. And you also know, so a lot of companies now are switching because of the laser technology. And I've been using laser technology for years, engraving technology, but I've never invested in an engraver that will engrave steel and things like that. And I see a lot of makers doing that. They'll invest in laser machines, high-powered CO2 lasers, for example, and they'll etch their maker's mark on the blade. And I see guys also using electrolysis to do that, and a few techniques like that. Now, I have been in the restoration game for a very long time, and my goal when I build knives is to build heirloom knives. I was thinking just tonight when I was grinding there in the grinding room, you know, my intentions for KN knives are far beyond me. You know, I want KN Knives to be a brand that lasts for decades, if not more than that. You know, big scale. I don't want. I'm not gonna. I'm sure. I'll let me let me get this out in a smoother way. I don't know how to stress to you. I want KN Knives to be around for a very long time. I want it to be a household name, a brand like Puma. You know, I was talking to someone today, a friend of mine or a client, to have a brand like Puma, who is known for premium work, high-end premium stuff, and has been around, you know, for 100 years. That's what I would love to see this brand become. And I would love it if my girls after me could move in and take over the business, and if it could move on like that. And so I say all that to say this: I restore knives still, I would say, for a living. And I get knives in here that are 100 years old, and those old knives are stamped in. And so you can really refurbish these knives. Those are my favorite. You can really refurbish them. You can reface the blades, regrind everything, and you still have that maker's mark because it's a punch into the blade. A lot of modern knife companies now, I have to be so careful with restorations, and it really limits what I can do in restorations. In cases, I'll talk to the client and say, listen, I know you want the blade refaced. You're going to lose any sign of a maker's mark. And they'll usually say, well, I'll keep all the pitting and the rust pits and stuff like that, because I don't want to lose the maker's mark, because that is the value to their knife, of course, without that. And I understand that. But all of these brands and makers using just that light etching, and I think, if I remember correctly, I think Puma is doing that. It's just that light laser etching or electrolysis etching, whatever it is, right on the face of the blade. And if I run like the buffer over that, it would take very little to just wipe that off, and all maker insignia is gone. So I wanted to make sure that I had a stamp set up. We've gone a little old school here, a stamp set up, you know, that's punched into that blade. And this knife can be around, and it can be restored. and restored again, and it can be refaced, and you can mill the face off of this if you want, and you have it there. That's what I want, and that's why it took me a while to come around to it. You know, I always use the K and Knives stamp, and we punch those in. Now it's just a little more refined version, but that same thing. For me, the standard was it had to be a stamp, which is probably a little more time consuming overall than a laser where you create your file and you just drop it in. It, you know, just like when I engrave my leather work here. It's very quick and simple, and you can just do it with your phone, hit start, and it'll just buzz out and do an engraving. Very beautiful technology, but that is not what I want for my knives. I want deep stamp. You know, you think about something, I'll give you an example. You know, the Spyderco insignia on this blade. If that was not that, you would never know that this is not a Spyderco because of the shape and design of it, but it's just what is essentially etched or stained on there, and just a couple passes with the buffer, and that is wiped away, gone forever. So I can't fully reface that blade like I'd like to sometimes. That's a drawback to me. Let me check out the comments here, guys. Chris, I'm glad you like. Oh, looks good. Looks like you guys are liking the stamp. I'm really proud of it. Like I said, this is the first batch. If you want to take part in the very first batch of the Maker's Mark, we can get you in on that. I think I have four Tuckamores right here. Yeah. 4 Tuckamores. Check this out. Bake Apple XL in 3/16. This is a little monster. This is the Bake Apple, but in, you know, pretty much full-size companion territory. Really cool. I built one for a customer that's on the table back there being glued up, and then got an extra one right there. Jeff Rose, I'll just grab a question here. Is it difficult to do a Scandi grind, and do you grind the Scandi before or after heat treat? You cannot grind to an actual edge pre-heat treat because anything that refine will crumble in heat treat. By the time you go through decarburization on the surface, you'll lose that. So you have to regrind that anyways. So things like saber grinds, you know, like this here, you know, we have some blade thickness, and then I'll joint that edge and we'll take off any fatigue steel from heat treat, and then we'll put on a secondary bevel. With Scandi grinds, and Scandi grinds are difficult. A zero grind Scandi is probably the most difficult grind to do. But here we have a case. This is right out of heat treat. So it's ground 95% of the way. And I have to take off, you know, several thousandths on each side. Because right now it's like this, the two faces with a flat here. So I'll just joint that edge quickly to get rid of any fatigue steel. And then we will grind those two faces in, those two planes, until they meet. You've got to be careful, of course, with heat management there, because you're trying to do a zero grind. You're bringing that face all the way in till they meet perfect edge without affecting temper. So you can't build any kind of temperature there. It is a difficult thing to do. Thank you, Jingle Bells. I'm glad you like the branding, sir. Elijah is hoping to make K and Knives a household name. Buddy, I would love that to be the case. I see, who was it? Brad King, I believe, said that K and Knives was already a household name in their home, which is beautiful. Yeah, right below. Can Knives is a household name in our family. That's a beautiful thing, buddy. Really appreciate that. Chad is here. Would you start dating your COAs? What do you mean by COA, Ariel? You state that out. Coffee fanatic, no sing along tonight, sir. Coffee fanatic, you have a couple of my nights. Very happy with them. Thanks so much. Chad, you missed the maker's mark, the stamp. See if we get it in the right light here so it's not washed out. Here we go. Of course, the camera, the live stream doesn't get perfect definition, but if you could see this in person, that maple leaf is just perfect. I was a little bit worried because in working with the design team and creating this stamp, I was a little bit worried on the definition, how good they would be able to get it and how well it would translate on the steel. But it is absolutely perfect. Every point of the maple leaf you can count. It is just flawless, just impeccable. Oh, certificate of authenticity. Would you start dating them? I have started that. Actually, I started that a couple weeks ago. Month and year, not date. Mr. Captain, can't wait to see the mini tradesman. Yeah, that's fun. Jingle bells, how much longer is the Bake Apple XL compared to the regular? Roughly 1 inch. I do not have a Bake Apple here that I can compare it to, but actually, let me grab my template right quick. One second. Just to give you some scale here. There you have it. Bake Apple and Bake Apple XL. Now I will say there's one difference. So the Bake Apple here, the template is done so that once you've perimeter marked it, it accounts for that expansion of drawing around with the marker. So the Bake Apple is a little bit larger than this. All sides swell out maybe a 1/16. Okay. So this here would be, the XL would be final dimension. You can see about 1 inch difference and 3/16 steel. Mike, you just bought your first KN yesterday, the Yellow Fox. Very nice. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you spreading the word. The beep in the background. Hang on. Let me cut that off. I thought I had that cut off before the live stream.
No messages. Monday 4. No messages.
I can't figure out how to turn her off, so I'll just unplug it there. Check out new development this week. That was a challenge to develop, I'll tell you that. It's going through a package deal for a customer, and so he ordered full custom knife build with leatherwork, sheath, of course, a belt, and then a carry piece for his belt. And first it was going to be made into the belt, and then he said, I think I want it to be removable so I can put it on different belts or change if I want to wear it on the front this time or around the back or the side. And so this was definitely a challenge to build, and then all templated. So that I wanted to build it on template so that I could repeat it immediately. So this is not exactly his necessarily. This is model number 1 or 2. I've got one on my hip here that I'm wearing around just to feel out. Jeff Rose, can you suggest a good thickness of steel? I'm currently using 1/8 flat bar stock for a 6-inch knife. I like 1/8. I use 1/8 a whole lot. Probably my favorite thickness. Scott Stapleton, welcome to the stream, sir. Really nice to see you here. Just to show you up close again. So this is the piece on my hip. And this piece is 6 rounds, and it's designed for basically anything in .3 caliber. They're done a little undersized, and the leather's thin enough so that it'll stretch to fit. So it's a really nice tight fit. This is 300 Wisdom here. See that? Really happy with the design. Really happy with the design. Yeah, that's 300 Winchester short mag, which is a little on the expensive side for me to shoot and a little uncomfortable, to be honest. But I'm stuck with her for now. I'm thinking about it's the heirloom rifle I built. I did a few years ago. The Tika Deluxe. Winston, thanks so much for your order. I really appreciate it, buddy. If it's not shipped already, should be shipped early this week. I'll be really looking forward to that and getting your opinion on it. Look bigger than .3? No, 300 Winchester short mag. But I built that, I did that project a few years ago, and I filmed it for you guys that have been sticking around. And it's a very, very beautiful piece, but it's a bunch of money tied up in the project, and I'm not getting time really to use it anymore. And I found that once I got it built, I don't take it. I take the old 308 Savage because I can lay it down in the back of the bike, or I can stand it up against a tree, and it doesn't matter to me if it falls down or if I bump it on anything. But that heirloom rifle that I built, it's so pretty and it's so nice, and I'm so proud of it that I just don't want to take it out, which is kind of odd because what's the point of that? But just one of those odd things, right? So I'm wondering if I should just let it go. We'll see. I'll hang on to it for now. Do you get to have hunting rifles freely? Yes. The restrictions are a little dicey now on semi-automatics, but we can have pretty much any like standard bolt action, even shotguns or anything like that. We can have it with a license. You have to be licensed. You have to have a certain type of training and that type of thing, but it's legal. There are 3 grades of license basically up here. Restricted, non-restricted, which would be your base level license, would include anything like a bolt action or anything like that. Hey, Corey from Tobin Lake. Keep it? Maybe I will. Mike, can you tell us anything about upcoming drops? There will be these that I have here on the table, heat treated, will be out this week, which will be a few Yellow Fox, a few Tuckamores. I'm hoping to have a full batch of bake apples go onto the website this coming week. The mini tradesman, I would like to have a production drop before next week's end. I don't know if we're going to be able to make that happen. I got to be on the road, I think, at least one day next week. But that's my goal. As soon as possible, within maybe a week to 10 days, the mini tradesman will be dropping. I am already taking, just to let you know, taking pre-orders that will get first pick of the first production run, guys. So if you want to be a part of that, okay, Scott, thanks for stopping in, buddy. If you want to be a part of that first tradesman drop, the mini tradesman drop, you can email me, Kyle at np-inc.ca. If you want to be a part of that first drop, you want the historical very first batch, I'm thinking about number them. Maybe I should number them like 1 through whatever. The first prototype run, I stamped P. They're not really going out to anyone. Although I had a lot of emails trying to convince me to let those go, I've decided pretty much to hang on to them. They're very, very special to me, and I want to hang on to them for a few different purposes. But as for the first production run in the mini tradesman, yeah, I'm taking pre-orders on those right now, and they will have first pick. So if I come out with a run of 10 in the first week, for example, those who have put in the pre-order, I'll speak to them. They'll get their first pick. Yeah, I want the red one. I want the blue one. I want the green one. And if there happens to be something left over, it'll go up on the website. If not, likely there won't be, but if not, you'll have to wait for another batch in the future. So that's how it'll go. Ariel, that will probably be a separate build from that production run. Jeff Rose is torn between the bake apple and the mini tradesman. I would say it depends on what you're going to do with it, Jeff. If you're more so an outdoorsman, spend a lot of time around the campfire or hunting and carving, processing small game, a little bit of angling, fishing, that type of thing, I would err towards the bake apple. If you spend a lot more time, you're a little bit more of a tradesman, a craftsman, you spend time working in the garage, or you spend time in like an urban EDC type environment, and you like to carry a knife, a fixed blade, there I would definitely go with the mini tradesman. It would be the better option for you. So you just have to think about your uses. Both would work just fine in the crossover scenario, but if you're debating between the two, that's how I would dial it down. Where are you going to use it? What are you going to use it for? And that should help you decide. Those mini tradesman knives look great. Wish I had a pile of cash laying around. Hey, man, you don't need a very big pile. They're a real good price. I think the price is pretty nice for the mini. PM 112, have you had any delays in your orders being delivered to the U.S. due to the trade challenges right now? Zero. None at all. Everything has been super smooth sailing. No problems with stuff getting through. Nice and easy. No issues at all. But I have found lately the most reliable shipping source. And if you're planning on shipping something to me for restoration, sharpening, anything like that, I have found the Federal Post, United States Postal Service, and Canada Post to be the most reliable. I had to switch to UPS for a little while there, and I get occasionally customers sending me restoration projects, sharpening projects, that type of thing, using UPS or FedEx or things like that. Usually there definitely is a higher rate of problems using those. UPS is the only direct line to here. UPS is completely international. So if you ship from UPS down in California, it sticks with UPS across borders, comes into Canadian UPS, and comes here. I've had a few issues with them lately, so I would not use them. I would stick with Federal Post. If you use something like FedEx, where I am here, this rural, FedEx doesn't come here. So it'll come so far on FedEx, get transferred to another service, have to be programmed into their system, like more of a local courier within Newfoundland. And then it'll come to me on like a same day or Pure Later or Dan Ross or something like that, some more of a local courier. And that transfer of service is slows things down. And I just don't find it's worrisome. If you have a precious heirloom item, I would like it sticking with the same. I don't want it crossing over services or switching departments or anything like that. So United States Postal Service is where I would stay. Daniel, you're saving up for the mini tradesman. I think you're meant to say, or a Bake Apple XL. Hoping for April? Yeah, absolutely. If you want to shoot me an email, I can help you get that started, Daniel. I can work with you there and see if we can figure something out. Alan, the mini tradesman. Boy, you're in for a treat. You're going to want one of these, Alan. You're going to want to send me an email. I've got some real sweet pictures I can send you. Nope, Corey didn't take it as a jab at my prices at all, buddy. I just wondered if you had maybe overestimated the price or something that the mini tradesman was going to go for. Any Nest Mix or Warncliffs on the horizon? Neither in the plans for right now. We're always the EDC Warncliffe. I've got to do a batch of as soon as possible. I don't know if you're familiar with that pattern on my site. The EDC Warncliffe is a great pattern. It's larger than the Bake App or the Mini Tradesman, a fair amount larger, and it's definitely a girthier knife. It's a little more meaty of a knife in hand. So that's a fun piece. I really like the EDC Warncliffe. Corey, you deal with the same shipping issues, eh? Martin guitars. I do not own any Martin guitars. This, if anyone's wondering about this is just a little cheapo cardboard box Yamaha, but it plays and sounds great. I did a little work on it to cut it down a little lower, put some new strings on it. All the adjustment basically that I could do to get it playing as good as possible for this guitar, and it plays fantastic. Really nice. Sounds all right too. But someday I would possibly like to own a Martin guitar, but I don't like the cheaper Martin guitars. I'm not one of these guys that wants, just to have the Martin name on it. My pastor here has a beautiful HD 28, a new within the last couple of years, HD 28 Martin, which is like Martin's flagship holy grail guitar, and it is so nice. It sounds incredible. It plays incredible. Just an amazing guitar. I love it. But it's quite an investment. You're looking between the $5,000 and $6,000 mark for one of those. And it is not the time in my life to have a piece of furniture like that sitting around my house. We don't even hardly want to buy a new couch or a table set right now because my 4 children destroy everything. They're so rough. And so just this past Christmas, I've been wanting a new acoustic guitar for a couple years now and just put it off. Nah, not worth it, not worth it. This past Christmas, I finally decided, I'd really like to have a new acoustic guitar. Starting to play guitar a little bit and lead a little bit in church, so I want a good guitar. And the wife said, my wife, Sierra, my beautiful wife, said, pick out what you want. Whatever guitar you want, you can have it. And I think she was leaning towards, because I do like some of the finer things in life. I'm an expensive husband. I like the toys. I like the fancy stuff. I like the ATVs and motorcycles and side-by-sides. And so I think she thought I was going to go for, the guitar. But I said, I don't think it is the time in our life for that right now. With 4 little girls running around, to have a $5,000 or $6,000 guitar leaning up against the couch, just not the right time. So we're leaving that. She gifted me for Christmas a beautiful Godin. If you want to look them up, Godin. They're handcrafted in Quebec, Canada. Just beautiful, solid spruce top. It is, in terms of playability, beats the Martin. It is the finest playing guitar I've ever played. Doesn't quite have the tonal quality, very different tonally than the Martin, but beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I see I'm missing some comments here. Winston, how big is the Bake Apple XL compared to the regular Bake Apple? I showed that earlier in the stream, but I'll show you quickly. Roughly an inch longer, a 1/16 thicker steel, goes from 1/8 up to 3/16. So it's quite a hefty knife. You've got a full-size handle there in that. Not a big standard size companion, but it's huge compared to the original Bake Apple. Let me see here, guys. I'm just weeding through. Alan, if you could shoot me an email asking for the pics, just because I might not remember after the stream ends to send you that. Ariel, would you do another side-by-side of the Bake Apple and the new Mini Tradesman? I think, yeah, hang on a second. I think I have one, a Bake Apple here. Just one second, guys. Just one second. Yeah, I've still got a Bake Apple, a couple Bake Apples sitting here. Here is a beautiful, beautiful Bake Apple with custom tang filing. And here is the Mini Tradesman. Fairly similar in size, quite different in design and feel and how the knife handles and works out in terms of a daily carry and how it feels in your hand and kind of its task orientation. Quite different. Similar in dimensions. I would say on average, the Mini Tradesman will be a little thinner in profile. A little thinner this way in profile as well. It's got a little less girth all the way around to it, but similar in length. But of course, you have that classic Wharncliffe style blade. A little more straight edge, way less sweep there, as you have, of course, that clip point coming way down. I just love this knife, guys. The Mini Tradesman, I think it's a knockout for sure. This is a prototype here. And it is just so much fun to play with. It's just a beautiful piece. I'm really excited for you guys to start carrying them. Get your feedback. Gonna be a lot of fun. Get some out to your favorite YouTubers. If you know some YouTubers with a bit of a following that would love to check out one of these knives, go ahead and email me about them or let them know to contact me. You never know. I might be able to set them up. Mike, yeah, the EDC Warncliffe is a great pattern. If you shoot me an email, I can send you a bunch of pictures of it just so you can get a feel. There was one remaining on the site, and it just sold this week, so it's gone now. Yamaha makes a great guitar. Taylor makes a great guitar. Absolutely. I'm not totally sold on the Taylor tone. It's a beautiful tone, of course. It's just not the tone that works for my preference. It's a little bright, little on the more trebly side. Not quite my taste. Corey, the new pocket clip interests you for the Bay Capo. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of emails. I've sold quite a few of those this week that I have to build now in the next few weeks. So that's exciting. A lot of people really like that design. I do as well. I went ahead today and finished out a full template for that so that I can repeat it nicely, get nice consistent results. Chad, Yamaha Red Label. I haven't played one myself. I've done lots of research on them, and I know they're a fine guitar. And when I went, my buddy works at Long and McQuaid. When I went searching for this Godin that I ended up purchasing, he actually recommended a Yamaha Red Label. He said they are really fine. The problem with Martin guitars is that they don't hold an edge. They don't hold in shape either. My pastor already had to send his back for adjustments. A little bit of humidification issue, and the guitar just scooped up, just unplayable. And he had that adjusted, and then he started getting some fret buzz. And I believe he had to have that taken out of her. I'm not sure what he did about that, but temperamental. Yeah, Alan, you mean the red labels? Brad, any thoughts of doing a run of the smaller kitchen knives you have made in the past? I would like to do a couple kitchen knife runs this year. It's not something that I've promoted a lot, but I love building them. They're a lot of fun. People really enjoy them. I like kitchen knives because they really get used quite a bit. But we'll see. I would definitely, if you want to get on a list for one, you can certainly email me and we can set that up. Alan, thank you for commenting on the Godin. It's nice to have some confirmation. My buddy that works at Long McQuaid, he's been there a while. He's a phenomenal guitarist. But I mentioned a couple different names that I was thinking I'd go with, and he said, "Have you considered the Godin guitars?" And I said, I don't even really know much about them. And I was just thinking they were sort of some cheapo, brand, or like a bottom end brand. And he said, no, he said they make some really fine guitars, and especially for kind of like the budget that you're playing in, they might be kind of top of the heap, handcrafted premium materials, nothing left to spare. And so I went looking, and I went with Alan. I went with the Golden Metropolis with the LR bag setup. It's really nice. Yeah. Let's get a jam on the go. That'd be fun. I used to jam a lot. I used to have some good musician friends when I was growing up. We played a lot. I was given a key. I was just a kid, but I was given a key to the church here, and we would go down, a couple days a week for hours and just rip on the drums and bass and guitars and the piano. That was a lot of fun. We used to have a lot of fun. I miss playing like that. Just ripping, and sometimes when you get in like that to a session like that, and there's no pressure and you're just having fun, you just really learn. Have you ever made a Bowie? I have made quite a few Bowies. Some really nice stuff. Again, Daniel, if you want to shoot me an email, I can get you some great pictures. Rick, a Larrivee. I love the Larrivee product line, especially some of their like boutique stuff with the inlays. Oh my goodness, unbelievable. Let me see here. Baton with a guitar? No, not interested. Not interested. Michael has an Art and Lutherie. Art and Lutherie is made basically by the Godin company, or it's kind of strange how they did it. You have Robert Godin, I think as it went, bought Norman Guitars, which was a fine and long-standing guitar brand. And them as a family have built several guitar brands. It's kind of an odd way. Instead of, Martin has Martin, and then they branch off in different models. The Godin family, what they did was create essentially different brands. So you have Godin guitars, and you have Simon and Patrick, and you have Art and Lutherie, and they're all made by the same company. They're different calibers, but very interesting what they did there. I would think it'd be a marketing nightmare, but yeah, Alan, pretty temperamental. I run the hydro packs as well. Ariel, custom kitchen knives are a great way to buy your spouse a Christmas gift. Oh, to buy your spouse a Christmas gift, I think is what you're saying there. Yeah, actually, I had a cool idea recently to start when I do work with like mammoth tooth or premium burls or stuff like that. A lot of times you get little offcuts, little bits. And I said to Dad, what if we started taking these little bits from the knife handle? So, okay, for example, this piece of whatever specialty wood this is was sent in by the client, South African wood. If there was a couple little offcuts, and if we made those into little earrings and hung little, the proper little earring hardware on them. The same thing when we do something where we work with mammoth tooth, you get those little bits that are not really any good for anything, but you could make little pendants. So we could sell that along with the knife. Husband gets a knife. Wife gets a little pair of earrings. He's thinking of her. Would really go over well, I think. What do you think? What do you think? Corey, when you were a little guy, you thought your father's banjo needed some artwork. I got at my mom's couch one time with an Avon lipstick sampler packet. It was a baby blue. The couch wasn't that far from this color here, Big Chesterfield. And I was a little kid, and she had this little fold open lipstick sampler packet. I remember it was all these little tiny, like couple serving lipsticks, right? All these bright reds and pinks all in there with like a gold backed case. And man, I was eyeing those lipstick. They look so cool. And I don't know what happened. She left the house, but I got open that little packet. And those bright cherry lipsticks on the baby blue couch just went so nice, huh? Yeah, I got myself into some trouble like that as well. KN Guitars, please make a D18. I would love to make a guitar one day. I would love to. I built a bunch of Lutherie equipment over Christmas break there. Some bridge clamps I welded up and fabbed up, and some a bunch of different stuff. I had some guitar projects. I bought a couple cheap guitars and did a bunch of work with them, building new bridges, patching a top, re-gluing bracing. I reset a neck, replaced and reset a neck that was actually broken off. Whole bunch of stuff, but I really like working with guitars. And Yeah, I would love to build a guitar someday. Let me catch up with you guys here. Chad, buddy, have a good sleep. Rest up well. Back to work, back to work. Hey, Kim from Sweden. Eric made it to the live stream. Welcome, my friend. Welcome. Have I mentioned the shirt I'm wearing yet? This is an old merch run, but the new merch should be here this week. I got an email, I think it was Thursday of this week, maybe Friday. No, wait, this is Friday. Yesterday, I think I got an email saying that the merch was finally all done. Come pick it up. And Dad's not well enough yet to go. So we have planned, I think, for Monday to go. We'll be picking that up. A bunch of steel and aluminum sheet for the boat console project. A bunch of materials for the knife shop here. Lots of stuff on the go. It's going to be a good week. Going to be a good week. But that merch is coming. Hopefully you'll see it this coming week. Hopefully. Daniel, I bet you get great sound and echo when playing in your shop. Oh, it is beautiful. So every once in a while, just when I clean up for the evening, I wash up my hands here. I grab the guitar here in the shop, it's quiet, just myself, have a quick play and a sing. And because everything is so harsh in here, there's this kind of big reverb that goes throughout the room. It's real nice, real nice. Love it. Plus, I'm here. There are no near buildings, no people, huge empty building. I can scream and sing as loud as I want, and nobody would know. There's also a liability in that if something were to happen, but all good fun, all in good fun. Mr. Captain, K and jewelry, earrings, and rings. I actually built a wedding ring for someone. Just last year, I got to build a really beautiful wedding ring. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that project. Hank came upon your channel a few days ago, ordered up a bake apple and mountain camo. Yes, sir. She'll be going out very soon. Those bake apples in the mountain camo are real nice. And the website, just to that point, the website got cleaned out this week. I'm saddened that we didn't get another batch up for you guys to take advantage of, but you really took advantage of what was there. There was a bunch at the start of the week, but you really grabbed it up. I appreciate every single order, all the custom orders placed this week. It really means so much. You allow me to do what I'm doing here and live this beautiful life. It's a special thing. Alan, thanks for sharing, buddy. Rocco, is there a particular knife that you always wanted to build? There are a couple ideas that I have turning up here right now of a couple different pieces. In fact, I had a client from the US I was talking to just a few days ago, or maybe yesterday and today. And he wants a custom build and no real idea or no specific idea of what he's looking for, other than he wanted an entire mammoth slab handle. So not a mammoth inlay or not a portion, but he wanted to know if we could do an entire mammoth slab full size of the handle. And so that's what we're doing, but we're going to build a real special piece that, he seems pretty wide open to going for. There's a few ideas I have going around up here, like I said, of stuff that I'd really like to build. And this is a great opportunity. I love when those opportunities come around. And it's going to be fun, a knife for the ages. I've been drawing sketches for a little bit. I want to build a knife that is in a caliber or a style beyond anything that has come from my shop before. I have a few plans. It's a pretty hefty build, but I'm really, really excited to build it. I'm hoping this year that I can get to, it's going to be labor intensive, but I'm hoping to build this piece. I just have it, like I said, it's dreaming around up here. It's floating around. I have these images of the lines and what I want to do. We'll see. Good question, though. Good question. Andrew Moss, welcome, my friend. Any new DeWalt tools? No new ones, I don't think. I don't think I've had any DeWalt tools in a while. I have almost everything that I could want. I have the chop saw and the table saw and all the drills and the impacts and oscillating saws and circular reciprocating, the heat gun, the band saw, the sheesh. 50% of their product line, I think I have here. Really fortunate. The nail gun, the framing nailer, so many of the DeWalt products. I'm a big fan of the DeWalt line. The circular saws are pretty cool. Brad, hopefully we can help you out with those shirts, buddy. Kim, can you please show some knives? I can show a couple. I don't have a lot here right now. I have a beautiful bake apple pattern. This is a custom build for a client with custom filed tang work. He sent in this own special piece of wood. This is the bake apple knife. I really love it. We have the brand new mini tradesman that is releasing within the next couple weeks. Really excited about that. And we have a Bake Apple XL here with, this is the very first heat treat with the brand new K&N Knives blade stamp. Long time coming, a lot of effort to get this put together and done, but I could not be happier with that blade stamp. I talked about it a little more earlier in the stream if you want to go back and check, but where I talked about the process and why that, but really, really proud of that. And this is the Bake Apple XL, again, 3/16. Really, really excited about that. Are you in Port aux Basques? No, I'm 5.5 hours from Port aux Basques. Dan, have you thought about using Labradorite or gemstone embossed in your scales? I have. That would be really, really cool. I'd love to do something like that. I have done abalone shell inlay, and I have some abalone here now. Always looking for an opportunity to use that because it is just so beautiful. Really, really nice. Hey, Goose Hunter. Daniel, you went to knknives.ca and felt so lonely, not much product in there. Yeah, I know. I'm letting you down there. We started off this week, ended off last week with a beautiful product-laden website. Lots of real nice options there. I was really proud. I said, wow, this is nice. People can go in here now, and they've got lots of options to pick from and swim around. And you've got nothing there now. Not keeping up with demand right now. I'll try to do better. We're working on it here. We're working on it. Ariel, the blade release for summer. Excited for that. Really looking forward to it. It's not in production in any way right now. It's been essentially built mostly a couple times, prototype models, but there are a couple modifications that I want to make to it. Rocco, great question. To everyone on the live stream, what's your favorite knife styles? Bowie, Puko, or what? That's a great question. What do you like? In terms of, my favorite would probably be in, I would say, a modern styling of the Bowie. It's not a knife that I would use much or find a ton of use much, but lines, preference style wise, oh, it doesn't get prettier. I've made a few Bowies that I would call, are modern renditions. I don't like the old style, the huge, how do I say, this huge swell coming from the Bowie out, because some of the Bowies really have some goofy lines. There's some weird stuff out there from back in the day, the old style Bowies, but love it. I just love knives. Love knives. Sean McGrath, can you explain what the linen scales are like? Linen is literally, so it's micarta, not G10, because G10 is made with essentially a fiberglass or a glass laminate with epoxy. So you have layers of basically like fiberglass, like glass fiber, and then it's saturated with epoxy fully, so there's no voids in it, and it's quite heat resistant. It's almost indestructible. Micarta is very similar, but micartas use mostly fabric. So you can get denim micarta, you can get canvas micarta, you can get linen micarta, you can get burlap micarta, where you just take layers and layers of burlap and you saturate them with epoxy, and you put on a layer of burlap and saturate it, and a layer and a layer. And when it's done, you have no voids. It's totally impermeable to moisture, anything like that, because all the cells and pores are impregnated with epoxy. And it's really nice. Micarta generally, because of that fabric, has like a warmer feel to it than something like a G10, which has, there's not a lot of bite to G10. It's really nice, and we do a lot with the facets, but micarta feels a little warmer in the hand because of those fabrics in it. Just how it is. So linen micarta is literally just using linen material. So it's a very fine texture compared to burlap, which is really coarse. Canvas micarta is really coarse and textury. You can never get it like polished, or it's always got like a bite to it. But linen would be a really fine weave material. Daniel, absolutely. Email me on the Bake Apple XL, buddy. Do you have any swords or sabers? No, I do not. Ariel, you don't get naming rights, buddy. We can talk it over. It precedes you. I do not use bow. I've shot a couple compound bows in my life, very few. Not something I'm interested in at this time. Different steel. Yes, it is on the list for the future, not at this time, because I love my old one so much. No big desire to change right now. The Jesse Cliff version, I'd have to look it up. I'm not familiar with it, sorry. Takamura and Prevail, Corey, both patterns I really like. Ariel, so glad you like that Tradesman so much. I really appreciate that YouTube short you put up. I didn't see that link pop up here, so I'm guessing you weren't able to share it. Jason, no, my knives are one solid piece of steel, no inlay. 100% heat treated, all done in house, so there would be no point in doing an inlay of high carbon steel. It is a high carbon steel, the whole piece, so you can't run out of steel edge. You can sharpen that thing until it disappears, theoretically. Sean, glad I could help with the scale materials. My favorite handle material, I love so many of them. Maybe some of the fine stabilized woods. I love working with so many materials. It would be hard to pick. Daniel agreed. The mini tradesman would make a great folder. RH Blade and Shade price range for the mini tradesman, mid-high 200s. Andrew Eliason, 8 or 10-inch Santoku, your thoughts? My thoughts on what? What are they like to use, or me building one, or what do you mean? K and Knives Tradesman on YouTube. Yeah, you should find that short. I don't imagine there are too many on there yet. But Ariel really done a nice job there. Strapped and Dangerous done a real nice job showing off the new tradesman he pulled out of box. I really appreciate that, buddy. Anyways, guys, we're 10 minutes past when I like to be heading home to my beautiful wife. Okay, last couple comments. Build and price on an 8 or 10-inch Santoku. That's a hefty project. Shoot me an email if you would. I'll put it down there now. Kyle at np-inc.ca. You can shoot me an email. I would love to discuss a build like that just to see if it's something you're interested in or not. Talk about, handle materials and style, what it's shipping in, if it's going in a wooden block or leather sheath or what. What kind of sheath with the mini tradesman? I will make the pocket clip sheath available for it eventually, a pocket clip styled sheath, but the standard sheath for it will be a leather belt sheath, low hanging so that it can also tuck into your pocket. It's real clever. I think you're going to like it. Lon, I do still make straps. I have them took off the website right now. You can just out of convenience, I'm changing some things around. But you can shoot me an email. I have a bunch of straps here ready to go. We can send you a dozen if you want. I'm looking at probably 12.5 right there now on the bench. Goose Hunter, I've played with both. I'm not sure. I think the final results, probably hot bluing, but in terms of day to day of chemical, of course, is just much more convenient, the way to go. Thank you for sharing that, Rocco. I really appreciate it, Eric, buddy. I hope you had a wonderful and restful day. Hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Really looking forward to some rest. Getting a little tired here now this evening. I'm going to go home, hang out with my wife. I really enjoy you spending some time with me. This is a lot of fun. I plan to keep on going with these Friday night live streams. They're a lot of fun. I love showing the new products, and it's just great. If you have any questions for me, shoot me an email. If there's any conversation here you want to keep going, whether it's about knives or guitars or fishing or hunting or whatever it might be, if you're interested in some custom leather work, go ahead. If you're interested in mini tradesmen, go ahead. Give me an email. We can get you on a list. We can get you service. We can take care of you. Okay, and knives. Thanks so much for watching, for hanging out with me. You guys have a great weekend.